Why do you think the Fed may be halting and ultimately have to stop its tapering?
Well, I just think at some point the Fed has gotten themselves to the point of no return on this, and I don't really think that they know how to get out of the box that they've gotten themselves into. I think that tomorrow the market is really looking at the precision probability of them adding another $10 billion to the taper. I don't think that's going to happen. I think there's a very good chance that tomorrow they could say, no, we're going to wait. And for a lot of the reasons you pointed out, Tyler, the economic data does not look great right now. The equity markets are not reacting very well here. I think there's a lot of uncertainty. We don't know which way things are going in the emerging markets. So I do think that they're going to take their steps very carefully here. And I would not be surprised at all tomorrow if they do say we're going to stay at that $75 billion mark and see how things transpire down the road.
All right, Peter, what do you think the Fed does?
Well, I don't disagree with that. I mean, I think that Janet Yellen certainly is going to taper the taper talk. In fact, I think she's going to reverse the taper and actually end up doing more than $85 billion a month in QE. You know, right now the markets are going to continue to decline as long as the Fed stays on this taper timeline. And I think the Fed is going to be cognizant of that. If you remember, they're basing the taper on the recovery, which is the result of the wealth effect of a rising stock market and a rising real estate market that allows us to lever up and borrow more money to buy more stuff that we can't afford. But as these asset bubbles deflate because the Fed threatens to remove the props, now all of a sudden the recovery disappears. We're headed right back into recession. And the only way to stop the markets from falling and to revive the illusion of a recovery is to do more QE. And that is exactly what the Fed is going to do, unfortunately.
What about that, Jeff? Do you think that if the taper went away, Peter makes the case that we'd go back into recession? Is that likely? I mean, people have been saying the economy's actually doing pretty well. Peter makes the case it's only doing well because the Fed's paying it to.
Tyler, I mean, if you look at the numbers for last year, the earnings growth for the S&P 500 was about 6.5%. The Fed balance sheet expanded by 33%. So do the math. The S&P 500 went up 29%. I mean, it's 33% or 6.5% closer to 29%. I think it's pretty apparent which there's a tail wagging the dog here. Now, how independent is the Fed? I think less independent than they would like to be. So I don't think that this is a decision that they're going to go into willingly, but I do believe that, yes, they are being, it's almost like a Stockholm syndrome type of thing.